Hello there, thanks for coming by PosterCentral.com's video blog today. I'm Pete Howard, and Count Basie, oh my goodness, a legendary bandleader, pianist, composer, etc., starting around 1920. What a legacy and what a long career for Count Basie, my goodness. And I've got a couple of posters to show you today, one from his early golden era, the 1940s, and one from later in the 1960s, which is kind of fun. Starting with this one though, it's from Phoenix, Arizona. A total boxing style concert poster, straight ahead and everything. Very simple, it's just presents the information without much fanfare and so forth, but the attractiveness of the poster really carries the day and attracted the eyeballs on the streets, I'm quite sure. You got this blue-toned photograph of Count against a mint green base, and it's just really a nice charismatic combination. I like that. By the way, as long as I'm in here, look at that oval next to Count's photograph, and you can see it's actually a musical note turned upside down. There's the bottom, the top of it down at the bottom. What's interesting is that that it's sort of like begging to be filled in with something, isn't it? It's just this plain white oval sitting there. If you're familiar with big band posters, I've blogged quite a few, or you've seen them yourself, Jimmy Lunsford and stuff. These areas are always filled in with something, be it musicians, like perhaps a soloist or something, vocalists, maybe a record label in there, booking agency or management, even song titles, sometimes went in there. So for some reason they just left it blank, and I'm sure eventually it was filled in by something elsewhere on the tour perhaps. So it's, make good use of that white oval on this Count Basie poster. So there at the top you see you got Riverside Park, 1975 South Central. Doesn't have to say Phoenix, Arizona, because these posters were probably posted only around the Phoenix area. Dancing from 9 to 1, $1.80 per person. And on this June 17th date, with Thursday, it calendars out to 1943, 1948, or 1954. I don't think it's 54, so I'm going with either 43 or 48, and there's just not enough information on here to determine whether it's 43, 48. So how do you find out? How do you determine? Poster collector like me, you simply wait till another one comes along, because these are tour blanks, where this part's all done ahead of time and this is stripped in show to show. And when one or two other images or posters turn up, I'll be able to put it all together and probably fairly easily at that point pick between the 43 and 48. So, but speaking of years, let's jump way ahead now to 1967. It's obviously at least a couple of decades. Here's a boxing style concert poster for Count with another jazz musician, Charles Lloyd, from, wow, the Fillmore Auditorium. Hey, so this is, compared to the last one, this has just loads of information, doesn't it? Just lots of details here on everything. As you can see next to Count's name, or above it, it says the most explosive force in jazz. Count Basie with the most avant-garde force in jazz, the Charles Lloyd Quartet. And Charles Lloyd appeared on lots of actual Bay Area psychedelic concert posters of the late 60s, Bill Graham and otherwise. And this, as I said, right when I held it up, is that, as you can see, very prominently placed there, the Fillmore Auditorium in big red letters in San Francisco. And of course, the Fillmore and 1967 in San Francisco, that equals one thing, and that is Bill Graham. So yes, Bill not only promoted the show, but he made the normal psychedelic concert poster for these two dates, these two nights. And in fact, here's a picture of it. Don't have the poster handy, but here's an image. And there it is. You can see BG78, there it is. And Count Basie and Charles Lloyd are on there. But it's kind of funny because they're sharing a poster with Chuck Berry, the Young Rascals, and the Steve Miller Blues Band. And hey, Bill was into diversity, and it was a great music lesson for all the hipsters who went, but how musically incongruous can you get, right? So either Count Basie's people, or maybe even Graham himself, wanted to market these two big band big nights to the non-hippie audience, I guess you can call it, in the Bay Area, or perhaps even more specifically to the black population. And this would not be a precedent center by any means. Graham was known to do that on several instances. One that comes to mind right away is Otis Redding, who had a psychedelic concert poster as well as a boxing style one for, perhaps the East Bay, the Oakland area and stuff, to sell the show to the black audiences. And Otis, of course, knocked them dead at the Fillmore. And I'm sure Count Basie did too. So this was printed, by the way, by Tillman Press, and very conveniently located, in Oakland, California. So A couple of nice Count Basie boxers there for you. One, I can't say one really old and one kind of old or something like that. Definitely both vintage though, because that's what I like to cover in this blog. So I hope you enjoyed the posters and the contrast between the two. And thanks a lot for dropping by, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.